Welcome to Flipping Big Rivers, source to sea, following the Rhine. This is our first stop, having just walked down from Lake Tomazet, the official source, and that valley back up there that you can see just behind us, that's the Border Rhine flowing down. So we're actually stood here on bridge number 2 after the one that's just over the little outlet. And we were wondering, we're thinking about how long does it take for a droplet of water to flow from up there in Lake Tomazet out into the North Sea in Rotterdam. The Rhine's quite an interesting river because it's quite fast. Now, the reason it's fast is because
of river taming, where the length has technically been reduced by about 60 miles. It's actually been standardised. So in Switzerland, they've standardised it to about 200 metres wide. But in Holland, it goes all the way to a kilometre wide, with depths between about 1.7 and 2.5 metres.
So where it flows out the end is actually a significant volume of water. It's about 2,000 metres cubed per second, and for reference that's about 80% of an Olympic-sized swimming pool every second. So if we look at the flow rate, average flow rate on the Rhine is considered to be 45 miles an hour. So let's say 4 miles an hour, it's just under 800 miles long. If you do the maths on that, it takes 8 days for a droplet of water to flow from there out into the North Sea. And interestingly, 8 days is how long we've given ourselves to drive in the car to follow the river all the way and stop off at interesting places.
Bit of a coincidence, that. But...
I know, just carefully researched and worked out, actually. But 8 days to get from here it doesn't feel quite right. And of course, the thing that you're forgetting is that the Rhine River flows through an enormous lake.
Lake Constance.
Lake Constance, the second largest lake in Western Europe, just behind Lake Geneva. We're going to go and visit that later because that's a really interesting place on the Rhine River. But if you look up there's a thing for a lake called a residence time, which is how long supposedly a droplet of water spends getting through that lake. Do you remember how long it was? 4.5 years, apparently. But if you do some maths on the volume, 48 cubic kilometres, and let's take that flow rate of 2,000 metres cubed per second, if you do the maths on that, it's over 18 years. So an average droplet of water going in, if you were to empty Lake Constance and refill it, would take 18 years. So that's much closer to how long it really takes for a molecule of water from flow.
Just a bit longer than 8 days, isn't it?
Just a bit longer than 8 days. So if it got lucky and it zipped across the surface of Lake Constance, it could do it in 8 days. Otherwise, it could swirl around in the bottom of Lake Constance for 18 years. Anyway, for more interesting facts, come back and see us later. Bye-bye.